And then I want to make sure it is recording. Okay, great. So now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Hi, Donna.
Okay. And let's start with the slideshow. All right, so welcome everyone. I'm glad you're here. And we are going through with, it was CFOs to go, now it's to go advisory group. And let me go actually to the next slide so I can go through the agenda. So we're going to start with TriNet introductions, then to go advisory group introductions. We'll go through short version of the TriNet overview, and then we're handing it over to go advisory group presentation so they can tell you the differences, what changes they've made. It's actually very exciting. So if we go to the next slide. So I'm Vicki Younger, sales consultant here at TriNet. Jess, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Jess Miller, sales consultant here at TriNet. Worked with the TriNet team for 3.5 years. Best job ever. We'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go.
And then Bill, Brian, and Jody, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Bill Klein. I'm a partner with To Go Advisory Group. Still don't have that rolling off my tongue yet. It's CFOs to go in my mind. We'll get there.
Yeah.
And my name is Brian Dunkel. I'm a partner with CROs to Go, which is, of course, under the house brand of the To Go Group, and I'm responsible for marketing, sales, and customer service.
And my name is Jody Avina, and I head up the talent acquisition as a recruiter for the To Go Advisory Group, and my reach is across all of the partnerships and all of our branding. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited to hear your presentation. So to start, we'll talk about, actually, Jess, I think, are you taking this one?
Sure. So some of you may be wondering, who is TriNet and how do they affiliate with the To Go Group? So TriNet is a 32-year-old company based out of Dublin in the Bay Area. We're publicly traded, preferred provider of the National Association of PEOs. If you ever need a boring read to get you to sleep, they have a great website full of information. Just really, PEOs do take new businesses to the next level. We're ESAC certified. And, you know, we have 18,900, almost 19,000 business clients with over 340,000 work site employees and growing if Vicki and I are doing our jobs correctly. And, you know, we have over 1 million lives insured for major medical. So we are good at what we do and bringing together the economies of scale. And the partnership with the To Go Group is one that I'm extremely excited about because we meet with business owners right now that are just in flux and transition, and they are vulnerable. And I always say that when you are vulnerable, it's not comfortable, but you are growing and you are learning. So the great team of professionals that we have on the phone are helping the business community learn and grow and get through this vulnerable time. So Vicki, next slide, please.
Yep.
So I told you a little bit about the TriNet story already, but you know, we're not just a California company. So we, as you can see, have offices across the United States. Something very unique to TriNet is we're not going to give you a one-size-fits-all. So let's say that you are in Washington, which is a monopolistic state for workers' compensation. We have a specialty package for that, and you can carve that out. Or let's say that you're in Florida, and so you need to have the Florida Blues as part of your package. We're going to do that. And let's just say you get relocated and you have employees in 5 different states. We're going to customize packages with the tax suite, with the workers' compensation, and the major medical benefits to make sure that we're getting the right needs for your employees in each and every one of those locations. And, you know, HR managers out there are always racking their brains of, well, if I go with this package, then this group of people are left out. And there's always those considerations. So when you're working with TriNet, we're truly going to help you get the right customized package, no matter where you're located. Next slide, Vicki. All right, so when we talk about full service HR, we talk about the 5 pillars of TriNet. So the hub and the wheel is payroll services. So in order for us to know all of the other information we need to pull it together with the payroll. So we can do job costing, labor distribution, accounting integration, you name it, we are experts in place when it comes to those payroll services. Then we have a team of HR professionals that are going to help you not only come aboard with TriNet. When you make a big change, implementation is a huge deal. If we drop the ball on that, we've ruined our relationship. So that's where we have a team of professionals to concierge you into the TriNet relationship. And then from there, we have a group of professionals to be your human capital business partners. So, you have someone who's repeatedly late or any other HR issues, we're going to help you navigate those shores. Now, with our technology platform, we're going to help you with all the required learning, like the harassment learning, or maybe someone just wants to refine their computer skills, or they want to, through our technology, also do performance reviews, which that's a big soapbox item for me, because you recruit these people in and you promise them raises and next steps and all of those things, but they may not feel like you're helping them get to that next level. So those are some of the tools that we have in place, and some of the tools that the to-go professionals can really help you utilize and get your team to the next level. Then, of course, I've alluded to our benefits options, and that's truly customized to what locations you're in, the demographics of your people, what you're looking to do. And then we have risk mitigation. So that is our workers' comp team who's going to put together a package specific for you. Now, let's say that you are really happy with your workers' compensation. We also have an option to carve that out. And then we have employment practices liability insurance bundled in. And as we talk more, we'll go more through that process if you want to take a deeper dive into TriNet. Ms. Vicki, I believe I'm over to you at this point.
That's me. So for those of you that are not with the PEO, and I do want to mention, because I didn't mention it at the beginning, that what was CFOs to go, now to go advisory group is a client of TriNet. So they can speak to some of this. But normally what we see, and I know I've owned my own company, and you've got your payroll vendor, you've got benefits, so you've got a broker for that. You have EPLI oftentimes, workers' compensation, and then there's internal HR support. You may have an HR manager. So you have disparate systems, disparate vendors that don't talk to each other, and it can be hard. It can be hard to stay on top of the compliance. It can be very difficult to, especially with so many changes that are going on. During the pandemic, there has been a minimum of 6 new rules and regulations that have come out. Actually, I believe there's a couple more even now. On top of that, it is hard to make sure you're always compliant with all that's going on. But when you get with TriNet, it's all under one roof. So it's one flat fee. You don't have all these different places you have to pay. We have the HRIS platform. So we've got the technology for you, right? You've got, and as just said, the payroll, the HR, time and attendance if you need that. The benefits are under there, risk and compliance. And the HR team, support team, I think this is where we really shine, is we are so on top of things. If anything happens, we are there to help you through it. And more equally as important, we're here to guide you to make sure, that you are always compliant for any new things that come out. We will be the first one to reach out and say, here's what's going on. Here's what it means to you, and here's what you need to do. Or doesn't affect you, you don't have to worry about it. And then our technology platform, as I mentioned, we have not just the payroll, the HR, but we have TriNet Hire, which is the applicant tracking system. There's onboarding, which makes it so much easier than everybody filling everything out. Payroll, as I mentioned, TriNet Learn. So right now, everybody has to do sexual harassment starting January 1st for everybody. We have that covered. For performance reviews, we have that time tracking. We've got that covered. And in workforce analytics, this is something that I think is great. So you can, in an instant, go in and have much more visibility than you currently have into your organization. How much are we spending in a different department, or how much overtime have we spent? Whatever it is, we've got you covered on that. And we've got something that is meant just for executives. So it's great charts. It's something, again, if you want to do a deeper dive, we're happy to show that to you. We have expense management, and the marketplace is something that actually a lot of employees love. If you're taking somebody to Disneyland, you can go in there and get a discount for that. For everything, like I have AT&T on my phone, I have an 18% discount on that just for being a TriNet employee. And then there's the integration center, as well as everything. Pretty much everything we've talked about, you can see on your mobile app. And so with that, I am going to get out of here and turn it over to Go Advisory Group. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Oops, if I can get back in here. Okay. So who's going to start with To Go Advisory Group?
Bill?
I'm muted, sorry.
Oh, you're muted. There you go.
So, Bill, we can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me now?
We
Okay.
can.
Little technical glitch there. Thanks to Vicki and Jess for the opportunity to talk to you today. We've enjoyed collaborating with TriNet for several years, and in fact, we're a client, as you heard. Let me just briefly talk about our name. CFOs to Go started 35 years ago with two people doing financial consulting and talent search. And as we grew, our clients grew, we grew along with them. Now we have 27 partners who are experts in a wide array of industries. My world, for example, is construction and real estate. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the things that we're seeing from our clients, but it's going to have a little bit of a accounting bent to it, which is what our historically where we've come from as accounting advisors. We're way more than that now, but just bear with me while I kind of explain to you what we're seeing from our clients. It bears out across the board. Everyone has had some damage to their financial statements, whether it's lower sales, increased operating expenses, decreased margins, key financial ratios that are upside down, loss of key employees and institutional knowledge, which is, I think, something that he's going to talk about a little bit later. All of this sounds really terrible, and it kind of is, but it's manageable. It's manageable if you know what to do. And one of the key things to do is to build your relationships. Hopefully you've done that before the crisis, but you can even do it during the crisis. For example, banks know that in most cases your financial stress isn't due to mismanagement, thank God. And they want to collaborate with you to find out solutions to keep you going. They know that you're their bread and butter, you're their client, so they want to help you. But they need information on what's happening inside your company and what your plans are. So the complexity arises when you're trying to manage strategy and growth the way you always have, and for most of you, it's probably worked well, but now you have this extra layer of complexity, on top of which there's single points of failure inside your accounting group. That's because of shifts in personnel. Different jobs have been assigned to different people because of absenteeism and sickness. And this all slows down your reporting and promotes errors. And these are two things that you have to avoid at all costs. You can't be producing reports that are wrong or late. So how do you fix this? Well, that's what we do. Sometimes all it takes is just us to be on board with you. The client or the bank see that and they're happy that we're on board and they know that you're in good hands with us. But what we actually do is it's not rocket science. It kind of makes perfect sense. We help tune up your financial statements with candid accuracy and transparency. We don't try to bury stuff. It's all out in front of everybody. We help you present your company to your bank truthfully, but in the best light possible. And we provide expert talent when and where you need it. The right people at the right place at the right time, from part-time bookkeepers to full-time CFOs and everything in between. Jody, my colleague, who is our Director of Recruiting Operations, is going to share her insight on this key facet of our business. Jody?
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate that introduction. And I thank the people of TriNet. So yes, we are a client of TriNet and have been for over 15 years, and it's been a great relationship, not only as an employee of the To-Go Advisory Group, but also as a great referral source to our clients. We service a number of early stage to middle market clients that find great value in TriNet. And so thank you to TriNet. And as an employee, thank you, TriNet. Part of my job, actually my job is to support our partners on finding talent. Our consulting partners often need additional help in bookkeeping or accounting, and we can provide those services for them. Oftentimes our clients will need interim staffing because of some unforeseen event happening or some happy event happening. So perhaps somebody's out on maternity leave. We're able to staff interim solutions. And then on direct hire, we are very active. Actually, you'd be surprised how busy we are right now with direct hire opportunities. So I think that this pandemic has been a challenge for many companies. It's also been a time where companies have had to sadly let employees go, and they're finding that at the end of the year, they're needing to spruce up or add talent as it comes to planning and budgeting. And so I'm talking more about the finance and accounting piece. Sorry about that, Brian. You can talk about more on your revenue side. But right now, a lot of the positions that we are filling are on finance and accounting, and that they are, as I say, direct hire. But we also have a back office outsourced accounting group that can support our companies. This week, I brought in a client. Actually, I brought in 2 clients this week to our outsourced accounting group because we can manage that relationship, that accounting relationship, and we have oversight over those accountants so that they're helping the client in manipulating month-end reports, cleaning up some work that has lagged behind. One of my clients has some problems right now with a 401k reporting for Q3, and so that's where we've been able to step in. So we like to think of ourselves as flexible and being able to provide and fill any need on finance and accounting, and now on HR as well as operations, information technology, and revenues, so the sales side of the thing, so of business. And that's where the CXOs comes in. It's we're working at a high level, senior executive officers, and the talent group supports that. So thank you once again for this. And Brian, you can educate everybody on how important your piece is to the business and moving forward, especially at times like this.
All right. Thanks, Jody. All right. So you can see that my logo got the purple color. So I'm going to add a little color and context to this and kind of tie this all in together. All right. So why the To-Go group? Well, I can tell you from based on experience that when working with a client, it's usually not just one issue. So really, it's our clients that came to us and said, look, we've got issues, we've got problems beyond just finance. Who do you know that can help us? Which led to the offering of course, CIOs to go on the information technology, CHROs, which Jody just talked about from an operations and production standpoint. We've got COOs to go, and on the revenue and the marketing side and the sales side, you've got CROs to go. So again, this is all driven by client need. And so I'll give you an example. So currently one of my partners, Peter Gray, who is responsible for the practice group COOs to Go, and I are working with one of our CFOs to Go partner, Chris Burns, on a capital raise and restructure of a consumer products group. Well, why are three of us working together? Well, again, it's not just one issue. So in order to help this client revitalize their company, redo the capitalization structure, and then take it one step further and go to market, it requires three experts, not just finance, not just operations, but also marketing and sales. So as you can see, there's a collaborative effort internally for us to service the client. And then once we get that ship, right-sided up and sailing, then we circle back and go to Jody and her team and say, look, we're the Navy SEALs. We're the temporary group. We need somebody there that's going to be long-term, who's going to run the ship, drive the ship for the long haul. Who can we bring in at an executive level? And that's when we rely on someone like Jody or our internal recruiting staff to fill those positions. So hopefully that's painted kind of a broad picture in how we offer a synergy value to our clients. And so since I've got the soapbox, CROs to go. Well, why CROs? Again, marketing, sales, customer success. And really the position of CRO came from the tech industry about, let's say, 5 to 10 years ago. And for those of us who are marketing and sales, we've always seen these silos between marketing and sales. Some sort of egoic structure. Marketing's claiming this, sales is claiming this, and the poor customer service team is like, well, you guys just get along so we can make good on the customer. So somebody came up with the wise idea. Let's put it one person accountable for all of it, chief revenue officer. And that's what I do, and that's what my team does.
Thanks. So Brian, are you done?
Yeah. Back to you, Jody.
Okay, thank you. And so we'd like to take this opportunity to engage with you all and learn from you about some of the changes that you see coming and some of the concerns you all have. Are there any questions for us or of TriNet? Because TriNet, I learned all kinds of things from TriNet today. I'm really interested about the marketplace. So,
yeah, that's a popular one.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So I know that we're very excited about the changes that are.
Jeff, I think Jeff had something, but Jeff's muted. Jeff, muted.
Unmute. There we go. How's that?
There we go.
I just had a question on the hiring practices with how it interfaces with the 2GO group and TriNet. Is there somebody that looks at the background and runs a criminal background, runs a how do you investigate the prospective employees that you're going to recommend to us?
We do, as a recruiter, we do background checks and criminal checks as well. We have a couple of resources that we have to help us on that. We also do our own reference checking, and we also, I would say, do a little bit of backdoor checking on candidates as to how we came to know them, who they've worked with. And so oftentimes, especially in finance and accounting, we'll go back and check with some of the bankers they may have worked with, because our organization has been around for quite a long time. So we'll check with the outside CPAs and the bankers to find out, what the communication style was with that client or with that candidate. Does that help answer that question?
Yes, that was good. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one, and there's a lot of scrutiny that needs to be done there. Thank you. Thanks for that question.
Jody, I have a question for you. When you're doing recruiting right now, what are you seeing as most important to candidates? Because I know there's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace.
Yes. I would say evaluating the cultural fit and the openness and the communication during the interviewing process. And so in some of the positions that I'm working with right now, I think that as a recruiter, understanding the cultural fit for number one, for what the client is looking for, and then understanding what the real needs are from the candidate, that's where the matching comes in. But it is very difficult to get people to move right now if they're not confident of the opportunity ahead of them. So oftentimes I believe that's where recruiting can come in and solve a lot of that problem, because as a recruiter, you have to get to know the client and interview the people that the candidates are going to be working with and really get a feel for what is the attraction, what's kept people there. So oftentimes if you see a company that's flipping employees through, there's something going on there. And those are the kind of pieces of information that as a recruiter, you need to be aware of. And make sure that your candidates are aware of whatever is going on. So we walk a fine line, because we need to make sure that both the candidate, that there are no surprises on the candidate side or on the client side. And so it has to be open communication. And there are times when it's a bad situation, and then a recruiter needs to evaluate whether or not it makes sense to get involved in that. Does that help?
I like that answer, because, we have applicant tracking tools, and we can help cruise the internet and all the job posting sites and find the candidates that seem just perfect on paper. But I mean, a lot of people can either hire someone to write a resume or have help writing that resume. So it oftentimes takes a trained recruiter to get to the depth of it and see if they truly are the right candidate for the position. So I think that's a great partnership.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would say that I've been doing this for a long time, and it is about conversation and probing, always probing. And so, yes, always probing. That's part of the job of a recruiter. So you can't always take things on face value. So.
Absolutely. We probably just have time for one more question, because I know we were trying to keep it close to the 30-minute mark. All right, I have one more question. Brian, I think you are our financial, right?
No, I'm revenue, marketing and sales and customer service.
Oh, okay.
I've got a bachelor's degree in finance, but I know enough to be dangerous. So I think you should probably give that question over to Bill.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you a question.
I'll handle it if I can.
Whoever is best suited can answer it. So would you say, if you're spending marketing dollars right now promoting your business, what's the return businesses are getting back? Because I know that, things are tight and businesses have tuned back on the marketing. But I mean, what is your plug on it? Should businesses be marketing, or what should they be doing?
They have to market always.
Always. That is the last thing that you should be cutting. I know, sorry, I got to jump on this bandwagon because it's something I'm very passionate about. But again, marketing is the last thing that you should cut your budget on. And the reason why is this too shall pass. And the market forgets quickly who you are and the value that you bring. Customers will forget you. So again, when this too shall pass, now's the time to be marketing. Now is the time to be investing in that outreach, whether it's directly through sales or through social media and so forth. You can trim it back a little bit, but don't ever cut back to the point where you're going to regret it later.
So here's another reason, because of, like I was talking about earlier, all of the things that are piling on top of you that makes the job of running the company more complex. Is banks now used to be satisfied with balance sheet and income statement, every quarter. Now they want way more than that. One of the things that they're asking for is, where are you getting your business from? How are you going to fix How are you going to fix your slump in revenue? How are you going to fix your slump in backlog? What are you doing? Tell us where you're getting your leads and how you're converting your leads into clients. And you didn't used to have to tell anybody that. You needed to know it internally to run your company, but you didn't have to disclose it. Now you do.
Good point.
Great point.
Good answer. Yeah.
Well, I think we have some key points for this. You know, we've kind of been in the whole, there's a pandemic, batten down the hatches, you know, stay safe, make sure that everyone is taking care of themselves. But with that, it's so important to take care of your business and to continue that marketing and to continue to recruit top talent. From our guest speakers or from Vicki, does anyone else have any closing statements?
Jess, I do have something, you know, with this whole COVID thing. I remember I heard a statement that made perfect sense, and you can tie this into your business, into your marketing. Social distancing doesn't mean relational distancing. A 6 foot separation does not mean you stop talking to your family, you stop talking to your friends, you stop talking to your customers. So don't ever forget that. Social distancing is not relational distancing.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
That's a great point.
Actually, it's too bad that you have to explain that.
It's human nature. And you know, a quick story. My daughter and I do jujitsu, and I literally was sitting there talking to a man who had a mask on. I had a mask on, and I said, "Hey, man, what's your name?" Took off his mask. We know each other from the gym and from church. I'm sitting there talking to a man I've known for years for 10 minutes, and I didn't recognize him because he had his mask on. It's human nature.
Yeah.
Remember, stay connected.
Good point. And I think with that, we are at 3:32. So we'll thank you all for your time. And I'm going to stop the recording now.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Jess. Thanks, Vicki.